Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtapraheshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7. Today we are starting new chapter, chapter 2, Hiranyakashipu, king of the demons. Text 1. Shri Narad Vacha Bhratri Yevam Vinihate Harina Kroda Murtina Hiranyakashipu Rajan Paritapya Drusha Shucha. Shri Narad Muni said, My dear King Yudhishthir, when Lord Vishnu in the form of Varaha, the boar, killed Hiranyaksha, Hiranyaksha's brother Hiranyakashipu was extremely angry and began to lament. Yudhishthir had inquired from Narad Muni why Hiranyakashipu was so envious of his own son Prahlad. Narad Muni began narrating the story by explaining how Hiranyakashipu had become a staunch enemy of Lord Vishnu. So this, if we remember, happened in the third canto, where Lord Varahadev had killed Hiranyaksha. He had fight with Hiranyaksha, but ultimately he killed him and left his dead body in the ocean, Garbhodak ocean, and Varahadev left. And Hiranyakashipu went there and he saw his brother's dead body. And he was very angry. Aha chedam rusha purna sandashta dashanna chada kopojvaladbhayam chakshur bhyam nirikshan dhumram varam. Filled with rage and biting his lips, Hiranyakashipu gazed at the sky with eyes that blazed in anger, making the whole sky smoky. Thus he began to speak. As usual, the demon is envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and inimical towards him. These were Hiranyakashipu's external body features as he considered how to kill Lord Vishnu and devastate his kingdom, Vaikuntha Loka. So this is, he was the biggest demon in the history, Hiranyakashipu, and he wanted to kill Lord Vishnu. He didn't even consider any of us as good enough adversaries. So he just wanted to fight with Lord Vishnu. Karala danstro agra drishtaya dushprekshya bhrukuti mukha shulam udyamya sadasi danavanidam abravit. Exhibiting his terrible teeth, fierce glance, and frowning eyebrows, terrible to see, he took up his weapon, a trident, and then thus began speaking to his associates, the assembled demons. Bhau bhau danav daitya dvimurdha striyaksha shambhara shatbaho hai agriva namoche pak ilvala viprachitte mama vachaha puloman shakunadaya shrinutanantaram sarve kriyatamāshu machiram. O Danavas and Daityas, O Dvimurdha, Triyaksha, Shambar, and Shatbahu, O Haigriv, Namuchi, Pak, Ilval, O Viprachati, Puloman, Shakwan, and other demons, all of you kindly hear me attentively and then act according to my words without delay. So all these are demon associates of Hiranyakashipu. Swapatnair ghatita kshudrair bhrata me daita sufrit parshni grahena harina samenapi upadhavane. My insignificant enemies, the demigods, have combined to kill my very dear and obedient well-wisher, my brother Hiranyaksha. Although the Supreme Lord Vishnu is always equal to both of us, namely the demigods and the demons, this time, being devoutly worshipped by the demigods, he has taken their side and helped him help them kill Hiranyaksha. So first thing this guy Hiranyakashipu is going to do is going to terrorize the demigods because Vishnu had sided with them. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu, the Lord is equal to all living entities. Since the demigods and demons are both living entities, how is it possible that the Lord was partial to one class of living beings and opposed to another? Actually, it is not possible for the Lord to be partial. Nonetheless, since the demigods, the devotees, always strictly follow the Supreme Lord's orders, because of sincerity, they are victorious over the demons, who know that the Supreme Lord is Vishnu, but do not follow his instructions. So the demons, they know Supreme Lord is Vishnu, but they don't follow his instructions. Demigods, on the other hand, they are devotees. So they follow to whatever extent, because they also have some material desires to fulfill. Because of constantly remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, the demons generally attain Sayujya Mukti after death. The demon Hiranyakashipu accused the Lord of being partial because the demigods worshipped him. But in fact, the Lord, like the government, is not partial at all. The government is not partial to any citizen. Well, not supposed to be. But if a citizen is law-abiding, he receives abundant opportunities from the state laws to live peacefully and fulfill his real interests. Well, that's in the case of an ideal government. But these days, only the law-breaking citizens receive abundant opportunities. Law-abiding citizens, they just pay taxes. Tasya tyakta svabhavasya grinera maya vanokasa bhajantam bhajmanasya balasya asthiratmanaha machula bhinna grivasya bhurina rudrena vaye asrik priyam tarpyeshe bhratram me gat vyatha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has given up his natural tendency of equality towards the demons and demigods. Although he is a supreme person now influenced by Maya, he has assumed the form of a boar to please his devotees. The demigods, just as a restless child, lean towards someone. I shall therefore sever Lord Vishnu's head from his trunk by my trident, and with the profuse blood from his body I shall please my brother Hiranyaksha, who was so fond of sucking blood. Thus shall I too be peaceful. Wow, what a plan. The defect of demoniac mentality is expressed in this verse very clearly. Hiranyakashipu thought that Vishnu has also become partial, like a child whose mind is not steady or resolute. The Lord can change his mind at any time, Hiranyakashipu thought, and therefore his words and activities are like those of children. Actually, because the demons are ordinary human beings, their minds change, and being materially conditioned, they think that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is conditioned also. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Avajananti mam moda. Fools deride me when I descend in a human form. So everybody looks at the Lord from his own glasses or from his own vision. Because the demons are always fickle-minded. They always keep on changing. So they think the Lord is also like that. And that's why Hiranyakashipu is like a restless child. Demons always think that Vishnu can be killed. Therefore, being absorbed in thoughts of Vishnu's form, to kill him, at least they have the opportunity to think of Vishnu unfavorably. Although they are not devotees, their thinking of Vishnu is effective, and thus they generally attain Sayujya Mukti. Because the demons consider the Supreme Lord an ordinary living being, they think that they can kill Lord Vishnu as one might kill an ordinary person. Another fact disclosed herein is that demons are very much fond of sucking blood. Indeed, all of them are meat eaters and bloodsuckers. So the meat eaters, obviously, they suck the blood from the flesh of the animal. We might say, no, we don't see any blood. Well, the blood is there inside, no matter how much you get rid of it. And this is what they like, the taste of blood. Hiranyakashipu accused the Supreme Lord of having a restless mind like that of a small child who can be induced to do anything if simply offered some cakes and laddus. Indirectly, this indicates the true position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. So he's not like a small child, but if we offer something with love and devotion, he accepts it. And Krishna says, if one offers me with love and devotion, a leaf, a flower, fruit, a water, I'll accept it. The Lord accepts the offerings of devotees because of their transcendental love. Because they are in love with the Supreme Lord, they do not eat anything without offering it first to the Lord. The Lord does not hanker for a small leaf or flower. He has enough to eat. Indeed, he is feeding all the living entities. Nonetheless, because he is very merciful and is Bhaktavatsal, very favorable to the devotees, he certainly eats whatever they offer him with love and devotion. This quality should not be misjudged to be childish. The highest quality of the Supreme Lord is that he is Bhaktavatsal. In other words, he is always extremely pleased with his devotees. But the demons, they cannot understand this quality of the Lord. And just like Hiranyakashipu here, they accuse the Supreme Lord to take side with the devotees. He's just like a little baby. You just give him laddu and some cake or something, and he'll be on your side. Supreme Lord is not like that. He's not in need of any of laddu or cake or patra or pushpa or phala or toyam. All he cares for is our love. That's all. As for the word Maya, when used in reference to the dealings of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and its devotees, this word means affection. The action of the Lord to favor his devotees are not disqualification, but signs of his natural affection. But demons or people with that kind of mentality, they cannot understand this. As for Rudhira, or the blood of Lord Vishnu, since there is no possibility of severing Lord Vishnu's head from his body, there is no question of blood. But the garland that decorates Vishnu's body is as red as blood. When the demons achieve Sayujya Mukti and leave behind the sinful activities, they're blessed by Vishnu's garland, which is red like blood. After attaining Sayujya Mukti, the demons are sometimes promoted to the Vaikuntha world, where they receive the reward of the Lord's garland, Prasad. So sometimes, it depends who goes there to the Vaikuntha. Otherwise, they achieve Sayujya Mukti and that's it. Now, here Prabhupada said there is no possibility of Lord Vishnu's head being cut off from his body, and there's no question of blood. But now this is Lord's dealing with his devotees. When the battle of Mahabharata was going on and Krishna was the charioteer of Arjuna, and Arjuna was facing Bhishma Deva. So what did Bhishma Deva do? He shot arrows at Arjuna, but he also shot arrows at Krishna. He wanted Krishna to pick up a weapon. He wanted Krishna to break his vow to protect Arjuna. Why? Because Bhishma Deva is a Mahajan. He's also a devotee, great devotee. He wanted to see that Bhaktavatsal mood of Krishna. And only a devotee can do that. Here also Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, they're devotees. That's why Lord Vishnu chose them to fight against him. So Bhishma Dev shot arrows at Krishna, and Krishna was just a charioteer. He didn't have a weapon. But according to the code of war, he could be shot. And Krishna, to reciprocate with Bhishma's devotion. Now, Bhishma's devotion was he was shooting arrows at Krishna, and Krishna loved it. Bhishma was not giving him garlands or doing arti and agarbatti and lamp and this or that. No, he was shooting arrows. Those were his devotional paraphernalia. And Krishna, to reciprocate the mood of Bhishma Dev, he showed blood coming out of his body. Now that is Krishna and his dealings with his devotees. And of course, after a while, when Arjun could not or did not fight properly, Krishna got angry, got down from the chariot and picked up a wheel and ran towards Bhishma Dev. And in the process, if you have seen that painting, his beautiful painting, in the process, his upper cloth, uttari, it just fell down on the ground. And Arjun was behind and Bhishma Dev was in the front, and Bhishma Dev put down his bow and arrow, and he said, "Okay, Lord, you come and kill me." So that mood of Krishna, with blood coming out, he showed his sweat also, because this is what heightens the fighting spirit of a Kshatriya. And he wanted to give full pleasure to Bhishma Dev. He was also feeling pleasure. And in that mood, Krishna was angry and he picked up a chariot's wheel, and he ran towards Bhishma Dev, and Arjun ran after him. So it is said only Bhishma Dev saw that form of the Lord. Arjun was behind. So then that was perfection of his devotion. He wanted to see that. That's what it is. So Krishna can do anything. He doesn't have blood. His Vigraha is Satchitananda. It's not just like we have. But to reciprocate. Just like Krishna doesn't get hungry, just like we do. Our material body needs food. Soul doesn't need all the food that we eat. But Krishna, we have seen how much he eats. He also steals the yogurt and the makhan, and he eats. But that is to give pleasure to the gopis, to give pleasure to Radharani, Yashoda Maya. That's what he does. And these are just pastimes, very, very sweet pastimes with his devotees. So Lord can do all this just to have relationship or pastimes with his devotees. Tasmin kute ahite nashte krita mule vanaspato vitipa iv shushyanti Vishnu prana divokasa. When the root of a tree is cut and the tree falls down, its branches and twigs automatically dry up. Similarly, when I have killed this diplomatic Vishnu, the demigods for whom Lord Vishnu is the life and soul, will lose the source of his life and wither away. And this is what the demons do. The difference between the demigods and demons is here explained. The demigods always follow the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whereas the demons simply plan to disturb or kill him. Nevertheless, sometimes the demons very much appreciate the full dependence of the demigods upon the mercy of the Lord. This is indirect glorification of the demigods by the demons. But they know this thing, that if they kill Vishnu, then the demigods will lose away, because all the dharmic activities will stop. Tavadiyat bhuvam yuyam brahmakshatra sameditam sud yadvam tapo yagya swadhyaya vrat dhanina. While I'm engaged in the business of killing Lord Vishnu, go down to planet Earth, which is flourishing due to Brahminical culture and the Kshatriya government. These people engage in austerity, sacrifice, Vedic study, regulative vows, and charity. Destroy all the people thus engaged. So this is the program of the demons. They just want to kill the Brahminical culture. And if that is killed, they know the worship of Lord Vishnu will stop. And then the demons can rule. Hiranyakashipu's main purpose was to disturb the demigods. He planned first to kill Lord Vishnu so that with Lord Vishnu's death, the demigods would automatically weaken and die. Another of his plans was to disturb the residents of the planet Earth. The peace and prosperity of the residents of Earth and all the other planets were maintained by the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Chatur Varnyam Maya Srishtam. According to the three modes of material nature and the work ascribed to them, the four divisions of human society were created by me. On all the planets, there are different types of residents, but the Lord recommends, referring especially to the planet Earth, who is inhabited by human beings, that society be divided into four varnas, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Before the advent of Lord Krishna on this earth, it is understood that the earth was managed by the Brahmins and Kshatriyas. The duty of the Brahmins is to cultivate sama, peacefulness, dhamma, self-control, titiksha, tolerance, satyam, truthfulness, shocham, cleanliness, and arjavam, simplicity. And then to advise the Kshatriya kings how to rule the country or planet. Following the instructions of the Brahmins, the Kshatriyas should engage the populace in austerity, sacrifices, Vedic study, and adherence to the rules and regulations established by Vedic principles. They should also arrange for charity to be given to the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, sannyasis, and temples. This is the godly arrangement of Brahminical culture. So the Brahmins and Kshatriyas, together they should rule. Kshatriyas, of course, in the front, and Brahmins give them the advice according to the Vedic principles. And Brahman means a true, real Brahman according to the qualities of Shama and Dhamma and Titiksha, Satyam, Shocham, Arjavam. People are inclined to offer yajna because unless sacrifices are offered, there will be insufficient rain, which will hamper agricultural activities. By introducing Brahminical culture, therefore, a Kshatriya government should engage people in performing yajna, studying the Vedas and giving charity. Thus the people will receive their necessities for life very easily and there will be no disturbances in the society. So this is a right program. We should do yajna, give charity, and in return, demigods will provide everything. In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yajna, supply all necessities to men. But he who enjoys these gifts without offering them to the demigods in return is certainly a thief. So the demigods are authorized supplying agents who act on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Therefore, they must be satisfied by the performance of prescribed yajnas. In the Vedas, there are different types of yajnas prescribed for different kinds of demigods, but all are ultimately offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For one who cannot understand what the Personality of Godhead is, sacrifice to the demigods is recommended. So, different yajnas Prabhupada mentioned, and then towards the next paragraph, Prabhupada says, one should know, however, that all the necessities of life that human society requires are supplied by the demigod agents of the Lord. Of course, they don't act on their own. They have the power given to them by the Lord. No one can manufacture anything. Consider, for example, all the eatables of human society. These eatables include grains, fruits, vegetables, milk, and sugar for persons in the mode of goodness, and also eatables for the non-vegetarians, such as meat, none of which can be manufactured by men. Then again, take for example, heat, light, water, air, which are also necessities of life. None of them can be manufactured by human society. Without the Supreme Lord, there can be no profuse sunlight, moonlight, rainfall, or breeze, without which no one can live. Obviously, our life is dependent on the supplies from the Lord. Even for our manufacturing enterprises, we require so many raw material like metal, sulfur, mercury, manganese, and so many essentials, all of which are supplied by the agents of the Lord with the purpose that we should make proper use of them to keep ourselves fit and healthy for the purpose of self-realization, leading to the ultimate goal of life, namely liberation from the material struggle for existence. So this is the whole purpose, and everything is there. Lord has provided everything that we can use, but the idea is we should use it for the service of the Lord. A society of thieves cannot be happy, can never be happy, for they have no aim in life. The gross materialist thieves have no ultimate goal of life. They're simply directed to sense gratification, nor do they have knowledge of how to perform yagyas. And that is why Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated the easiest performance of yagya, namely the Sankirtan Yagya, which can be performed by anyone in the world who accepts the principles of Krishna consciousness. And what did Hiranyakashipu wanted to do? He planned to kill the inhabitants of earth so that yagya would stop and the demigods being disturbed would die automatically when Lord Vishnu, the Yageshwara, was killed. These were the demoniac plans of Hiranyakashipu, who was expert in such activities. And same thing is going on right now. The demons today are not as powerful as Hiranyakashipu, but they are little Hiranyakashipus. And they want to stop this yagyas. Anything to do with Brahminical culture. The governments, they just don't want it. But they don't understand. Without yagya, demigods are not going to provide anything without the yagya. So somebody can say, why in different countries where they don't do any yagya, how come they're still so opulent? Well, whatever yagya they're doing, it's not exactly the way, but still they're doing whatever their scriptures tell, and they're also reaping the benefits of their forefathers, whatever forefathers had performed. But sooner or later, it will all stop. Once the results of pious activities are over, then miseries start. But India being the land of dharma, the yagya should continue. And Prabhupada's mercy, Prabhu's mercy, the Sankirtan yagya is going on. And now it's going on all over the world, actually. So because of this yagya also, the nature, demigods, Krishna, everybody's pleased. All we have to do is do it more and more. That's all. So anyway, I'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. Okay, so you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.